Darren the Magic Ghostbuster. Thank you for watching this video. This is the first part of the Eagle Moss Hero Collector build and Ecto 1. So hopefully if you enjoy it you'll follow me on this journey and hopefully you'll be doing it along with me.
Hello, Darren the Magic Ghostbuster here with the final part of the Build an Ecto 1 by Eagle Moss Hero Collector, or previously Eagle Moss Hero Collector. It's now by Fanhome. It has been a journey. I uploaded my first video on this on the 10th of February 2020, so 3.5 years ago, basically. It's been long, it's had its ups and some pretty big downs, but we finally got here, so let's get it done. So here we are, the final stage of the Build an Ecto 1, originally by Eagle Moss Hero Collector, now by Fanhome, stage 140. Now, if you paid attention to the beginning of this build, you might be thinking, wasn't there supposed to be 141 stages? Well, technically, and if we go through the magazine, so there we are, that's the one we did previously, 139. There is this final stage. 141 was supposed to be a dust cover. Yeah, that was an Eagle Moss thing. Fanhome decided not to take that up. And I have to say, I don't blame them. It just seems like such a stupid thing to me. Now, you might disagree with me, and if you do, that's cool, let me know. But I don't see why you'd spend a good part of £1.5 grand on a model to then put a dust cover over it. So, and I mean, yeah, I just thought that was a bit silly. But as I said, maybe that's just me. But here are the instructions for what we did previously. This is what we're going to be doing today, finishing it off finally. And then it's going to leave us with a really cool model of the Ecto 1. I like how they had to put instructions on how to put the dust cover on. Yeah. But yeah, and then of course, as every magazine has had, you've got different parts in the magazine about different things. So very, very cool. But let's open up our parts. So here are our parts. Let's open this up. And then once we've got all this out, I'm going to have to go and grab the actual Ecto 1 itself. The last few stages, I've not had to drag it from its current resting place. It probably needs a good dust, to be honest. Oh, lots of little bits in this stage. So here we are, here are all our parts, so let's go and grab Ecto 1. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is plug these wires into where they correspond. So K goes into K, and we got J goes into J. The instructions did tell me to plug in the ends and the M's and all that, which was already done, so yep, that's good. It also mentions about tidying up the cables with a cable tie. Now we've done that previously. There are some cable ties around here that's held some of these bits on, but it's not come with any cable ties, and they're not missing because it's not even showing them as part of the list, but you're supposed to cable tie them around here to tidy them up a bit, but yeah, not something I can do. So yeah, good old Eagle Moss. Even in the end, they got it wrong. I mean, I know it's not Eagle Moss anymore, but these are still Eagle Moss, you know, parts. Fanhome have just took it over. But anyway, so once that's on, we are then going to screw this in place with VM screws. So let's grab the VM screws. There's quite a lot of different screws in this one. Yep, and then this is going to get screwed into place like this. Not the best placement, to be honest. It's a bit fiddly. Done with a slightly longer screwdriver for that one, but never mind. So, was this worth it in the long run? Now, people have different opinions on this. Some people say, you know, because I mean, I can't think what the total price is. Let's just say it's £1.5 grand. I think that's close enough. Some people will say that model is not worth that sort of money. And I suppose if this was sitting on a shelf in the model shop for that money, most people that are doing it probably would not have bought it, to be fair. But I think the beauty of these builds is it doesn't feel like you've spent that money. You know, you're paying, you know, your £10 an issue or whatever it is with postage, so it never feels like you've spent that money, and to me that's worth it. And although, you know, it has been massively frustrating at times, yeah, I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. Started a long time ago now, but you know, I've enjoyed building it. I've enjoyed making these videos about it. You know, that's not to say it's been perfect by any means. It hasn't. You know, just little things like Eagle Moss were a terrible company. There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's any dispute in that. You can try and argue with me and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Eagle Moss were awful as a company. That's why they no longer exist. You know, and I mean, they lied about things. They got things wrong in the beginning. I mean, if you remember the whole license plate issue where the license plate was printed off center. Now, they tried to justify that as in the film, the license plate is actually under a frame. And yes, that's correct. So you know, you don't see the whole outline. But on the model, it's not under the frame. It just looked like a really poorly printed thing. So it was like one of those things, you know, where they were right in theory, but the execution was piss poor. And then some of the other things, like in their marketing, you know, they advertise this as no fiddly stickers, literally pointing to the sign on the door. And then, of course, what do we get? Lots of fiddly stickers. I mean, parts on here were all stickers, or water decals, whatever you call them. You know, things like that were fiddly. You know, the customer service was pretty poor as well. So, you know, things like that did make it frustrating. Now, of course, if you're new to this, you know, you're signing up now, it may well be different with Fanhome. And I can't really, you know, say what I've only dealt with Fanhome for a few issues, you know, because I was very close to the end when Eagle Moss tanked. So, you know, maybe Fanhome will do a much better job going forward. So, we hope. I'm going to have to turn this round. It's just no light there where I'm looking. Oh, I forget how heavy this thing is. Yeah, see now, little things like this I didn't like. I don't know if you can tell, that is actually pulling up slightly. I'm going to have to get a bit of a glue on that. I don't think parts like that with a bit of crappy double-sided tape on were acceptable on something this expensive, you know. You know, and that's a straight bit. That isn't even a curved piece. So, you know, there's really no excuse for that pulling up. But, I mean, overall, you know, like I said, it's a great model. It looks great. I haven't finished it quite yet, obviously. We're nearly there. But, you know, I do think it looks really cool. One of the other downsides, obviously, of Eagle Moss going under and Fanhome taking it over. I mean, obviously, overall that's good because that they took it over. Because otherwise we'd, you know, have an unfinished model. You know, without resorting to, you know, fan-made customs and so on. But one of the downsides is that we don't get the glass crystal case that we were supposed to get. That's something that Fanhome are not doing, you know, which is annoying because it was part of our subscription. It's something we really paid for, you know, over the time. But of course we weren't paying Fanhome, we were paying Eagle Moss for that. So that's frustrating. I do really want a case for this. Apparently they are going to offer one for sale at some point next year. Whether that happens or not, you know, who knows. You know, we can hope. Let's put these screws back in here just in case they come up later. So yeah, so that's frustrating. I'm gonna look into getting some sort of case made, I think, at some point, because we've got the base. Now, I don't know if Fanhome are offering the base for anyone who didn't get that far. I don't actually know. Okay, so we've got these two parts. That's going to push in there. It's a tiny little bit, this. And then, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. This bit. All right, one of them goes there, and then we need. So we're going to have really tiny screws. GP silver. And oh, this bit doesn't look fun. Right, let's put that in there. Surely that's got a screw going through, so that's got a screw going through the back. That just says GP on that one, so we've got GP silver, which is there, and then so I'm assuming there's a regular GP. Yes, so I don't know if anyone who hasn't got the base is going to get that through Fanhome or not, unfortunately. It's a little unclear what's happening with any of the specials and, you know, gifts and things that Eagle Moss originally offered as well. Because Eagle Moss were doing these gold badges that were pretty cool. They did 2 sets. And, I mean, this just goes to show how terrible their customer service was, because I got set 2. Or was it set 3? I can't remember now. I can't remember which order I got it in. Basically, it was supposed to be 3 sets. They only ever released 2. And I only ever got sent 1. or offered one. When I emailed Eagle Moss, they didn't even seem to know that any existed, which was frustrating. And it was actually David Rowe who sent me one of the ones I was missing. It was very, very kind of him, so thank you, David, once again for doing that. So I got set 2 and 3, and set 1 just never come out. I've never seen anyone who's got one or tried to sell one or anything. They also did a case which only got very limited release to put them in, so that was frustrating as well. You know, being a Ghostbusters collector, kind of want all that stuff. Okay, so now we're gonna have to attach this to. I have to turn this around again. Definitely get my workout in today. Oh. So I guess another question to answer is, would I do another one? And that's a tough one to answer, and I think mostly no. And the reason for that is, I just don't know if I'd trust another Partworks company. I mean, Fanhome, they're owned by D'Agostini, I think that is how they're pronounced. So we need these ABM screws, which are obviously a big company. They've been going a long, long time. So, you know, in theory, they are a trustworthy company. And if they decide to do another Ecto 1, like a Ecto 1A, you know, in theory they should be trustworthy to see it through. But I just don't know if I trust Partworks companies anymore. It's just, you know, if you get to a certain point, and if they go out of business halfway through, you know, you've got to hope that another company comes along. I'm going to have to do this from this angle. And you know, we were very lucky that Fanhome took over, basically. So I don't know, it'd have to be something pretty special for me to consider ever doing another one. I mean, space is also an issue. I mean, you know, the Ecto 1 is a massive car. Okay, no, why are none of the other holes lining up? That's so weird. Put this on wrong. Doesn't seem like the holes match up very well on this. Yeah, so like I say, it's going to have to be something pretty special for me to consider doing another one if they ever did. And I think it's only something like the Ecto 1A that could make me consider that. I mean, you know, I like the other Ecto ones, obviously, from Afterlife. You've got the rusted Ecto one. Oh, why is it? They lined up just now. Now I put this screw in, they don't seem to want to. It's bits like this that have frustrated me throughout. I feel like there's been some bits that are just really frustrating where bits haven't lined up properly. There you go, I think we've got it now. Yeah, the Ecto 1A was quite different. I mean, the Afterlife car, although it obviously had the gunner seat, was pretty much the same car, you know. just rusty. The car in the upcoming Firehouse, from what we've seen of it, isn't much different. I won't go into the differences here just in case you're trying to avoid that sort of stuff. There are differences, but they're not major in terms of, you know, like Ecto 1A was quite different in many aspects. The roof rack had a lot of changes, the decoration, you had caution striping down it, stuff like that. Oh! Even the back bumper was different, so there was actually a lot more differences to the Ecto 1A than a lot of people even realise. Because I know one thing people were expecting was to have like an upgrade kit, like they did for the DeLorean. I can't remember if that was Eagle Moss or not who did the DeLorean, but they did a thing where you could change it to whatever version of the DeLorean you wanted, you know, Back to the Future 1, 2 or 3. But I've always said to people, you can't do that with the Ecto 1. There's too many, you know, you'd have to change the whole back bumper. There's differences that, you know, maybe not so obvious, but I mean, how would you go back and change the back bumper on this once you put it together? It'd be an absolute nightmare. I just don't think it'd be doable. But anyway, sorry, I'm going on too long. I think I pulled the wrong screw out then. I pulled out a GM screw and looking for a GP screw. Huh. Alright. GP. Not a black GP screw. There we go. Okay, and then we've got this little thing here, which is gonna go up here. This is gonna be fiddly. It's hard to do stuff at this stage without blocking the camera, really. It's okay, so that little thing goes there, and then I assume the antenna's gonna go through that later on. Right, so where are we now? Right, so the antenna. Let's unravel this. So this is something to be careful with. The way these sort of wires spring out, you can end up whacking yourself in the eye or something. Oh god, they've really put this together properly, haven't they? There we go. Right, so the antenna is going to feed through here. Now, hold on a second. There's nothing to hold that in place. That just felt very loose in there. Use the GP screw, blah 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 blah. Now secure the first antenna to the roof frame left using one black GP screw. Finally push one end of the first antenna into the antenna mount with the antenna slotted into the antenna holder. So I guess it just does fit loosely in. Yeah, I feel like that should have been a bit snagger. That's a bit rubbish. I should put a tiny bit of glue on this at some point. I'll have a think. Yeah. Just have a quick look here. Okay, alright, well, it's what it is. Not going to mess around with glue now, but I think that is a part that's going to need to be glued. Oh, okay, right, so now we're back to this side. I'm going to have to glue this at some point anyway, this bit, so maybe I'll end up doing that. Right, so we've got these parts now, and these are going to hold the tubing in place. Okay, and we need GM white screws for the bottom part. So where's the GM screws? So here's the bottom part. And let's tread on some of the packaging, make a really annoying noise. Let's come around the other side of the camera for this. Not a lot of room here. Okay, and then what we've got a TM screw for the top bit. So TM screw. Here we go, TM screw. Let's put the back over there for the minute. Don't get them mixed up. So yeah, that goes over there, and then TM screw down on this hole here. There we go. And then we've got the tubing. So that fits over here. And then just sort of runs down there like that. Again, not very snug. I feel like I could have done a slightly better job with that, you know, just maybe a tiny bit tight. Oh no, that is my fault. I have forgotten something. Right. Apologies. I was jumping ahead of myself again. Right, so we've got these two bits. And they just push together by the looks of it. Okay. And then okay, right, so yeah, that goes on the bottom. So that goes there. Push that through there. And then that goes on that bit. Yep, so yeah, it could have been a bit more snug going into there, I feel. It's a shame they've got these kinks in it as well. Might be able to come out with some heat on it. Okay, so next up is the ladder. So ladder there. And so XP screws for putting these parts on. Okay, so how do these fit? That's going to fit in there. An XP screw, just double check, make sure I'm getting that right. Okay, so got one this side. So one other thing I think they could have done better on this is where the battery compartment is. The battery compartment is underneath the car, and so you've got to kind of bring the car to the edge of a table and then reach under to get to the battery compartment, which I feel like they could have done a lot better with that. They could have hid the battery part inside or somewhere. On the Blitzway car, there's a couple of battery parts on the roof, and the one on the roof, one in the inside. Oh, lost one of my screws. Luckily there's another one. That's one good thing. They've always gave us some extra screws, which I guess probably anticipate people dropping them and losing them. Some of these screws are so tiny that I bet quite a few have fell down places and never to be seen again. I know I've lost a few over time. Okay, so that part is on, and then just gonna go in here, and what do we need? We need LP screws for those top bits. Same this side. Sorry, probably can't see that. Must admit, I'm struggling to see that. And then okay, and then we need VM screws. VM. GP. Okay, I don't appear to have VM screws. Is that what was over this side? Hold on a second. We got VM screws, right? Had them over there. And one other thing, I don't know if Fanhome are doing. I don't know if they're going to be doing the proton packs. They were like an extra special issue. They weren't part of the you know, the 140 issue run. They were a separate thing. So I don't know if that's going to be something they'll do for any, you know, new subscribers or not. So it might be worth looking into, just to see if you are a new person looking into getting into this. I have the proton packs here. The one thing I will say about the proton packs, if you're not aware, they took a lot of work. One of my things with when I started this was I wasn't going to do any customization. I wanted to build it as it come. These needed a lot of customizing because they had looked absolutely rubbish, and even the wands did not attach to the packs. That's how bad they were. You know, it should have been the most basic thing they should have done. But, you know, even if you don't get the packs, I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, realistically, they're probably just going to sit on the gurney in the car. You're never going to see them. Because, you know, I did think, like, the car looks amazing. It's an amazing model. I did think the detail was lacking a bit on the interior, but again, you know, it's when are you going to look in the interior, I suppose. Right, so I'm going to come back around the other side because it looks like we're working on the front of the car. Same thoughts from me with the engine. A bit dusty there. I'm not really a car buff. So, I actually found the first 20-ish stages. I can't remember how many it was now. A lot of it was just putting the engine together, and I actually found that really boring. Like, I don't really care about the engine. But I know there's people out there that love that stuff. But, you know, for me, you could have opened this up, and it could have just been a flat bit of plastic, and I wouldn't have cared. But, you know. That's just me. Right, so we've got this and this. So that is gonna go together there. Excellent. So GP silver screw again. Where's the GP silvers? FM. Where have I put the GP silver screws? Dropped the bag on the floor, have I? Probably the sort of thing I'd do. FM, which we are going to need to screw that bit down. We've got regular GP. Yeah, that's okay, that's annoying. I can't find the GP silver screw. Alright, we'll do that in a moment. Let's put this part on, because this does actually use a regular black GP. And I guess I could use a regular a regular black GP to put that together, maybe. But so we've got this, and where does that go? That goes at the front here. So that's what the antenna is gonna feed through. Right, so let's line this bit up. Make sure the holes all line up. And then FM screws there. Okay, so we are nearly done. This is almost quite sad. So the last bit really is to put this on with a GP screw. Now I think I'm just going to use a black one, and if the silver ones turn up, I shall replace it. Yeah, weird that. Okay, so that goes on there. Okay, doesn't even fit. Okay, that's funny. I thought they would have thought that would actually fit. You know, being the same number, but strange. Right, so let's cut the camera for a moment. I'll see if we can find this GP screw, and we'll come back. So I finally found the GP screw. The silver ones. They had fell on the floor. So this is going to be the last screw ever do on this. I did take the opportunity to stick this on as well with some Gorilla Glue and glue that bit down. So. And then the final part of this build is to put the antenna on. Just looking for where the instructions are just to make sure I've got that right. So I put them in a different place when I was looking for the screw. So that is going to go through here. That goes on there. And that is the Build an Ecto 1 by Fanhome, previously Eagle Moss Hero Collector, complete. And that is it. That is the Build an Ecto 1 finished. Never thought I'd get here. As I've probably said 1,000 times in this video, it's had its ups and downs, but we've got a cool model at the end of it. Thank you for everyone who has watched, especially those from the very beginning. I know there's some of you who have watched every video on this, and I can't thank you enough. Obviously, it isn't the end of the channel. There's plenty of other Ghostbusters content that I'm doing. I've got some very big announcements coming next year, which I'm really looking forward to. Next year is the 40th anniversary new film, so I'm going to try and kick the channel up a notch as well. So lots of exciting things to come. But as for this Build an Ecto 1, that is the end. Or the end for me. You know, you might well still be going, and I wish you luck in that. Would I do another one? I think I've answered that. Probably not, unless something really cool come along to tempt me. Even then, I don't know if I'd start from the very beginning. I think I'd wait until it's kicked in a while first, because I think one of the problems we had with this Ecto 1 build is, you know, when Eagle Moss finished, they hadn't made all the parts yet, so there was parts you couldn't obtain. Now, I know there's custom companies out there that do some of these parts. Obviously, that's really expensive because you know, they're not making to the quantity, you know, in big factories. Can you imagine if, you know, that happened halfway through? At least if they'd gone out of business and the parts existed, you can get those parts on eBay and different places. So I think for me to do another part work, it would have to be quite far into its run, and like I said, something special like the Ecto 1A. But anyway, got a really cool model. Unfortunately, all the electronics don't seem to work on it. I'm not going to turn it on much anyway, so it's not really a big deal. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. But anyway, I've enjoyed it overall. Can't say I've enjoyed it fully, you know, it has had its stresses, but overall, got a cool model. But anyway, thank you for watching all these videos, and I hope you'll continue to watch more of my videos. But anyway, thank you once again, and don't forget to always keep on busting.